Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Our patient today is 2014 Impreza, turbocharged. This is 741. The 740 is the original one, right? But as far as I've been told, 741 is a replacement. I mean, 741 will also work, and there can be replaced, and they're interchangeable. That's as far as I know, but I guess we're gonna confirm that empirically now. I mean, it has been confirmed empirically by someone, just not by me. So this is for Nick, for whom we did a last one, which had the replacement we got had a damage to the, well, actually we don't know what kind of damage there was, but it wouldn't read the what do you call it, the EEPROM, right? So, and of course they wouldn't accept the return. So I ordered another one, and that one was good. Nick replaced it, and it's working. But now he wants to have a little backup, because he's a DIYer, so he does a lot of tuning and stuff, and sometimes it can go wrong. So it's good to have a replacement at the ready. So we're gonna program it with his original VIN and the keys and stuff. That's what is being held in this little tiny EEPROM here. But as you can see, you see that? Yeah. Let's take a look at the big scope. This way. So there was, so what is this from? This looks like, and I know it is because I got the information. So as you can see, it has slight damage to the pins, and this results from the clip, right? Now, a few words about using the clips. Well, first of all, you have to, and especially for the ECMs, you have to clean the chip. You can use isopropyl alcohol to remove the conformal coating. But if you just use it like this, it's not going to work, because these are 93 series chips. There are also 95 series chips on the ECMs, so this is the adapter for 95. So as you can see, it's the same thing, it's the same kind of chip, it's SPI protocol, but the pinout is different. So all you gotta do is just route the cables differently, not much more to it. And this one is for 93 chips. Now, to use the clip, first of all, you need to reroute it. But that's not it. That's not all of it, because even if you reroute it and you clip it on, it's still not gonna work. Well, at least not with the CH341 programmer. This is actually not even a programmer. This is just a CH341 is this chip over here. And it allows you, depending on the configuration, depending on what kind of EEPROM you supply it with, because you can attach EEPROM to it to I don't know, make it a custom device, or without EEPROM, it's just gonna show in the computer as CH341. And what it provides is just an interface, and be it parallel or serial UART. You can configure it with the pins, or with the, it can be configured as the one of those three, are actually four. So this one is configured as UART controller, and basically what it does is just converts the USB to a typical COM port, right, for serial communication. Oh, okay, there's gonna be a lot of pauses, sneezing, coughing, and blowing my nose. I truly apologize. But I feel a lot better today, but I'm not back to 100%, and I think it's prominent. But I feel good enough that I can do this. So since there is slight damage to the EEPROM, let's connect the ECM to the reader and confirm that we can read EEPROM, so we can read the VIN. Once we do that, then we're going to program it. Now for this, what we're going to use is Xtool, what was it, D7? Yeah, D7 Xtool. It's a very affordable tool with a lot of capabilities, but I mean, it has the same capability as the devices that you can purchase for like $1,500 to $2,500. There's no difference in hardware. The only difference between them is in software. And the reason it costs that much is because you have to calculate in the license for using that software. That's an OEM software from the manufacturers. So this one is a lot cheaper, but for that reason you have very limited bidirectional functionality. So you cannot use this tool to program the VIN. I mean, there are exceptions. Some ECMs you can. And the way you can tell is when you read the VIN, instead of just OK button, you have a OK button and another button. Or no, you get the question, is this VIN correct? And you can hit no and input the new VIN. On some ECMs, very rare, but typically this is advertised as bidirectional, but this is pretty much a unidirectional. It's just for reading the code, resetting the codes obviously, and reading diagnostic data. So it's a very nice device, but you get what you paid for, right? And this is not a typical like professional tool. But professional tools, they go for a lot more. Now, in addition, we have a GoDiag, which coincidentally is a gift from the owner of the ECM. So last time I didn't charge Nick anything, and I actually lost a few bucks on the previous repair because we got that ECM that didn't work. So then I just I ordered another ECM, and I just pretty much charged a little below what I paid for the other ECM. But I figured, knowledge is expensive. I learned a lot from that job, so I figured now it's not exactly like I'm losing money on it, And so that was a really nice gift. Thank you so much, Nick. It works great. I don't have to do, if you guys remember, I had it here somewhere, or maybe, oh yeah, here it is. So this is what I've been using before, right? So definitely this is a lot easier. And once I connect it, I immediately see the LEDs that tell me that I have CON high, CON low, and power. So I get immediate feedback that the connection is okay, because each ECM has slightly different pinout. Maybe not each ECM, but there's few typical configurations for connecting to the ECM. So let's connect and see if we can read the VIN first. And immediately I see can high, low power. So the ECM is functioning. Now let's read the VIN. So we're gonna go to Diagnostics, OBD, Autoscan, and it's working. And VIN is here. Now, what I like to do is just get this VIN and Google it to see which car did this came from. And the reason I do that is sometimes, or maybe let me put it this way, other than EEPROM, we also have binary around 1 megabyte in the MCU. So our MCU needs to be also compatible with our car. So let's just input it. So this is from 4-cylinder WRX AWD, 4 cylinders, 2.5 liters, turbo, obviously DOHC. Shouldn't it be DOTC? It should be DOTC. So I don't know if this is gonna work. So let's do this. We are going to dump the current EEPROM just to be sure, because if it doesn't work, we will have to do a little trick, which is to just switch the VIN, keep the EEPROM as it is, and just override the VIN, which means you're gonna have to program the keys, if it's gonna work actually, because that's another question. I was told that 741 is the direct replacement with 740, so it should work, but now we're gonna have the actual answer. So first let's clean it nicely. Oh. So as far as the updates of my job search, there aren't any. I mean, I got more rejections from, I don't know, the jobs that I don't even remember applying to, because I went on the applying spree. That one prospect that I had, the guys that wanted a code sample, I got rejection from them too. They moved on with other candidate, and I was thinking probably it wasn't a good choice. The repo that I sent them probably wasn't a good choice. I probably should have sent some other project that is done in some framework instead of, you know, the actual framework. Because it's not, I mean, it's, you know, I would be impressed with that if someone sent it to me. because that shows that you have a good understanding of how it actually works, not just how to use it, right? And that is actually the problem of the modern frameworks like Laravel, and you just kind of, you know, learn how to use the framework without understanding how framework works and what you know, how it actually works, right? That is a limiting factor in my view. So I would be impressed with that, but they are not, which is fine. But I also decided that it's time to modify my resume, because I've been applying with this one for a while now. What is it, like almost 2 weeks now? So I want to use this weekend to modify the resume. Maybe I'll get some pointers from other people. And we'll see how it's gonna work. Because so far, no results. That one recruiter, local to Atlanta, and actually the one more recruiter reached out. I think yesterday. Well, I spent yesterday all day, so there was no videos yesterday on either channel. I did get up in the morning, I took a bath, and I figured, you know, maybe I can push through it. But I had such a throbbing headache that I just couldn't. And I went back to bed and I spent all day in bed. I didn't really even eat anything. I had then half an apple and half a peach. And I just drink water with vitamin C. And some white wine. But today I feel a lot better, a lot. Obviously you can probably tell that I'm not back to my old self yet. But compared with yesterday, oh, it was a horrible day. Usually when I get sick like really heavily. We got marking, so the dot goes here. On some ECMs you don't have the markings, so it's harder. You gotta remember the orientation. But since I'm also recording, I can always review the footage if I'm not sure. But that's pretty much. That is pretty much my yesterday. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the coding session today. Because I do have to start working on that project. I got some updates to it, and now I gotta start working on that. I think we're gonna have to put new solder on this. But there was no damage from clipping, so it's good. Yeah, I'll just apply a little bit of new solder before I solder it back on. Now, you go here, you go here, and 93 adapter. Alright, I dumped the content, uploaded the one that I have from the original ECM. Now let's put it back on the board and see if it works. Okay, just a little bit of fresh solder on it, and the chip goes on. It is very hard to do with shaky hands, but actually my hands are not as shaky as I expected. Now we could rework the pins with the soldering iron, but I'm just gonna inspect it. It's sitting nicely. It's not perfect, but it's sitting nicely. So now, the moment of truth. Now we should read the VIN that we uploaded, or we're not gonna read the VIN, which would mean that the VIN is at different offset. And we can compare that because I dumped the original one. Now I don't expect that to be the issue, but I allow that to be an issue. Auto scan, read the ECM, and it's working. Okay, we've got the VIN. Alright, so I thought so. Because you know what I was thinking after the last failure? I was thinking that maybe the VIN is a different offset, right? And the VIN is written to the EEPROM 3 times. That's how the checksum works. So instead of doing the checksum, it is just written 3 times, right? Well, that's one way to do it, right? It's an old technology, so let's not judge too much. And since I didn't dump the original contents, I couldn't be sure. I mean, it really didn't feel like it would be the issue, because I've done enough of these to know what I'm doing, but if you can't check, you're never sure. So it was bugging me, and that was the same 741. I just erased the chip, I put the contents from 740, and it wouldn't read the VIN. And since the chip has been removed in the past, I concluded that it was faulty, and not the chip. Something else on the ECM was faulty. That's why the chip was removed from the board. That's why now I dumped the original content before uploading new content, just to be sure. But I'm glad that it wasn't the case in the previous one, which would be surprising, but if you can't confirm, then you're never sure. Alrighty, so this is done. Let's see, it's not even 9 o'clock, so I should be able to mail it back today. I'll send you the payment link, and it should be on its way back today, which means Tuesday, probably Tuesday the latest. Because if I remember correctly, Nick is in Florida. I'm in Georgia, so it's not very far. Well, that'll do for this one. We have another one, another ECM from actually the same customer that we did the oscilloscope for. with liquid damage, and that's kind of interesting because I already worked on one of these, and I restored the connection, but it didn't fix the problem. So now I get to have another stab at the same problem. So that is exciting, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do it today. In either case, thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate you, and I shall see you hopefully tomorrow.